Episode 5 of The Wheel of Time might actually be one of the more emotional episodes I've seen thus far, especially towards the end, because it was very different, but I felt like it was very well done as well. And also throughout the whole entire episode, some aspects were done very well, while there were others that might be a bit controversial. Now, I did have to watch this episode twice, and my opinions did actually change after my second watch, so we will talk about that. And before we actually dive into this whole episode, we are literally just under 800 subscribers, so let's make that happen. And without further ado, let's get straight into this video. So starting off, we were started off with the burial of everyone who died in the last episode, like the battle that took place in the last episode. And yo, a lot of people died, and you know, one thing I realized, they even buried the enemies as well. I think they buried the king of Galdian. Oh my god, names bro, names. So yeah, but the main talking point has to be Stefan. Like, we saw how broken he is ever since his Aes Sedai did get killed. We know that there is some sort of bond between a warder and an Aes Sedai, and I feel like the show did a very good job trying to show us, instead of explaining, they showed us what it means to be a warder with an Aes Sedai. And clearly through Stefan we can see it's extremely strong, and not just through Stefan and his Aes Sedai, through Lan and Moraine as well. Like I feel like Lan and Moraine kind of saw this, like this can happen to them as well. That's why throughout the whole episode they were like getting really close, they were talking about this and that. So I feel like the show so far, in terms of explaining what an Aes Sedai and a warder is, like rather than not telling us too much, they are kind of showing us in terms of through emotion. So I feel like they did a pretty good job there. And yeah, then we move on to Rand and Matt 1 month later. That's interesting. I didn't expect a 1 month time skip, but that's fine. The main thing here is Rand and Matt straight away arrived in Tar Valon. Now in the books, Rand and Matt actually went to a city called Camelin before anything else happened, right? I'm not going to say anything else, just in case if you guys are not book readers. So that's a very interesting change that they made, that to remove Camelin from the storyline, which I feel like, I guess we'll talk about that more in the spoiler section, because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but that's fine. And through there we saw how big Tar Valon is. We saw the world itself in Tar Valon, and it was exactly how I pictured it, so I'm very happy with that. And of course, one more thing I want to say about this episode is the scenes, the pictures, the shots were all outstanding. It looks like a high quality show, and it is a high quality show, so I'm gonna give props to the team there. Now let's talk about the Tinkers again. I did say in my previous video that I felt like the show kind of did a better job with the Tinkers compared to the books, and I feel like in this episode they even went a step further, bro. So when the Tinkers came face to face with the White Cloaks, I felt like that really showed who the Tinkers are. Like, they literally stood up against the White Cloak by literally doing nothing, but that doing nothing is actually so powerful because they all stood together, and despite all of the violence that they had to go through, they will still stick together, and that is the way of the leaf. And I felt like that was very powerful. And yeah, that's one thing that I'll give to the show that's better than the books, is the storyline with the Tinkers. Like, they did a much better job. And I'm not going to lie, even though I did hate the White Cloaks in the books, I might actually hate the White Cloaks more in the show. So another thing that the show is doing more, like, they are portraying these characters, or these like these societies, like that's how they need to be represented, you know what I mean? Like with the Way of the Leaf, they are people who stick together, but then they do not condone violence, while the White Cloak, well, you saw what they did to Gwen later on, and parents. So that's what the White Cloaks are. And I feel like the show so far are portraying both of these societies in specific. They're doing a very good job, so good job to the show again. Now let's come back to Tar Valon, and bro, oh my god, bro, we finally got to meet Loial. Like, bro, this is, in my opinion, the most anticipated character that I was looking forward to, because I felt like that Loial might have been a challenge for them to kind of, you know, get the CGI and all that stuff, and all pretty much his look correct. And I'm not gonna lie, I watched this episode twice. The first time I watched it, I was like, maybe, but I'm not gonna lie, the acting was absolutely near perfect. It was actually really good. Like, the voice effects were very well done. It felt like Loial, because I listened to Michael Kramer at the audiobooks. Like it wasn't him, but it felt like a Loial. Do you know what I mean? Like it's hard to explain, but Loial, like everything other than the visual effects, in my opinion, like it was Loial, man. And then Loial wasn't as tall as I would have liked, but that's okay. But then like I said, I watched this episode twice. On my second watch, I was messing with his look, bro. I thought it was fine, bro. He had a nice curly beard, some curly hair. He had that Ogier nose, which is fine. He did not have that pointy ear, though. I wish he had that ear, so he, we could see in Twitch. But overall, I'm messing with Loial, man, and I cannot wait to see more of Loial, because in the books, when we first got introduced to Loial, I wasn't really that into him, but in the second book, that's when he really won me over, and he's like literally my top 3 favorite characters. So I literally cannot wait for more Loial. Now let's talk about when Loial broke the news that Rand is an Aiel man, or he could be, you never know. But that's what he told Rand, and then Rand was like, nah, like I'm from the Two Rivers. So I like how they kept that kind of personality of Rand, how he refused to be anything else other than a Two River folk. And I also love how Loial is like, he's like Loial, do you know what I mean? Because when Rand was about to leave, Loial was like, hey, okay, I'm gonna come with you, but let me pack up my stuff. Just give me a minute. Yo, no, I'm messing with this character, man. And then Logan and Matt. Yo, I'm so confused what this show is doing with Matt, because 3 books in and Matt cannot channel the One Power, but here I'm actually starting to believe that Matt actually might be able to channel the One Power. I have no idea, because at the start of the show we saw Leandrin chasing this random guy. I'm not sure who it is, but we know that he was seeing things, and I feel like Matt was seeing the exact same, seeing something. I'm not sure what he saw, but Logan was laughing, but he was not laughing. So very interesting. What are they doing with Matt? Like they are messing with my head right now, which is a good thing. Like that's good storytelling, and I feel like that's where the TV show is excelling. Yes, they are kind of stepping aside from the books in some aspect, but I feel like they are still keeping you captivated through these different storylines, and they'll keep you guessing, which is a positive thing in my opinion. So that's a tick for me. Now comes probably the most disturbing scene, bro. So we've got Aemon Volda. Now in the books his name got mentioned a few times, but I didn't really see him. But this guy is the worst, bro. This guy literally is torturing parents so Gwen can channel the One Power so he can kill a Gwen. Like, this guy's sick, man. Oh yeah, one more thing, we saw a parent with yellow eyes when he was getting tortured, man. So that's our first indicator of him having those, those wolf-like abilities. And of course at the end when a Gwen did that cute little move, but then she was also smart by releasing Perrin, because Perrin can do the main work. And then we saw more wolves, then we saw more connection with the wolves. So very interesting to see how we can actually see him communicate with the wolves in the future, because we've got no allies to explain it. So very interested to see how this will develop. Now coming to Nynaeve clearly does not like the White Tower. She is not messing with these Aes Sedai, and she kind of sneaks out through Leandrin. I'm not sure what Leandrin is up to in the show either. They're so different, man, which I'm okay with, you know what I mean? But then Loial pretty much finds Nynaeve, and yeah, and both Rand and Nynaeve are pretty much against the Aes Sedai, so they're kind of keeping their secret meetings kind of secret. I'm not sure, but they are definitely not messing with the Aes Sedai at the moment. So, and we also see how Matt is kind of really affected. Like he's getting more darker. He even spoke up to Nynaeve in a very rude way, and that's not like you can kind of clearly tell that's the daggers doing. Like, yo, Matt is suffering a lot. Like he is traumatized. He told Rand, like, did I actually kill the girl? Did I kill the family? And I think now we can all assume that the Fade was the one who killed the family, because I think last week I thought that Matt was the one that killed the family. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. The more I think about it, the more I actually enjoy this episode. Because on my first watch, I'm like, but when I talk about it more, when I watch it more, I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? So very interesting. And then at the end, it was, damn, bro, it was actually quite sad, bro. Stefan, he died. He killed himself. We can clearly see the effects, that strong connection that a warder has with her Aes Sedai. It's almost like a channeler getting loose from their magic. You know what I mean? Like pretty much getting gentle. Do you know what I mean? So see how Logan got gentle from his magic, and now he's pretty much nothing. that's pretty much how I see it as, man. So it's like the Aes Sedai are the water's magic, if that makes sense. So that's what it is like. And yeah, that was very sad at the end where they did that thing where they were just, you know, I don't know, that was very, very powerful, man, where they were like banging their chest, and then Lan was just literally taking all the pain. And then they had a moment where Lan and Moraine were looking at each other, and when Lan looked at Moraine, he's like, this can be me. Like that's what I've got out of that episode. Like he literally was like to Moraine, if you die before me, that's literally what's gonna happen to me. And that's when Moraine, like, oh my gosh, Yoskotiri was very emotional. I didn't expect a very side character like Stefan to be this much of a powerful impact. And that concluded the episode. And honestly, like I said, the more I think about it, the more I talk about it, the better the episode is. Like on my first watch, I probably would have given this episode a 7 out of 10, but now I'm actually sticking with a solid 8 out of 10. I'm really messing with this episode. Now let's quickly talk about some spoiler stuff from book 1. So the biggest change from the books to the episode was the locations. How it was like they pretty much merged Camelin and Tar Valon together, because Rand did technically meet Loial in a library in Camelin, and the same thing happened in Tar Valon. So fair enough, like I'm not like that's not disturbing me. And same thing, like everything feels the same. It feels like we are in Camelin instead of Tar Valon. The biggest miss would be Elaine, Gwen, and Queen Morghese and Elida. Now, I don't think Elaine and Gwen would be that important right now. Morghese, however, I think you know, you can get away with it, but I feel like Elida would have been a very good entry at this point, so we can see how the Aes Sedai, the Red sisters especially are like. But I guess we can kind of see the Red through Liandrin. So it's like they introduced Liandrin early and Elida a bit late. So it works. I'm not gonna hate on it. It works as long as you keep the core intact, and as long as whatever changes you make works. I'm all in for it, man. Like the books were messing with my head, and now the TV show is messing with my head. And yo, if you can mess with my head, I'm all in for it, man. So like I said, an 8 out of 10, very solid, very satisfied, and I cannot wait to see more of Loial. That's one of my favorite characters. Under Nynaeve at the moment is Loial. So yo, very excited to see what the next episode holds. And yeah, that's all for today. If you like this video, give me a big like. Comment down your thoughts below. What did you guys think of this episode? Were you happy with the changes, or were you a bit not too happy? You know what I mean? And of course, most importantly, subscribe. Very close to 800 subscribers, so let's make that happen. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care now. Bye.